Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. I was just taking a look at things this morning, and the strand from hell, it continues to haunt me. I think it's moving too much. Yeah, it's like I was just looking at the diagonal here, and just look how much that white area moves compared to everything else around it. So I'm gonna go back in and adjust it some more. It's alright. Someday it'll be done. And I will be free. Hopefully that day will be today. I can hope. But for now, I'll just go in and move everything down a little bit and hope that is sufficient and I do not have to, like, pull all these shenanigans to get things to work. So let's start there. There we go. Okay. Fortunately, it's all moving pretty easily here, so I think I got, like, the hardest parts of it out of the way last time, so let's hope it's kind to me today. I don't know if I can trust this strand, but I will try. Moving right relative to the other bits of hair around her now. Mostly. Mostly. Just need to touch it up. Which is always very, very doable. So I just want to get the angles on things right. Once again, there's like two different light spots here with this little shadow spot in the middle, and the one on the left is higher up than the one on the right. So I just need to get that looking right again. And some of these other smaller things. I think I am going to have to go all the way down the strand in order to actually fix all this. But, as always, I'm starting up here. I'm going to start getting it right all the way up into where this highlight on the side here starts. Because that highlight on the side, not the side light, even though it kind of makes sense, but the highlight on the side is another very good landmark for me to use. I think it needs to go a little bit further up than that. See, this is why I'm starting with that point. Because I figure once I get where these little... where this purple should transition into this white, then I should be able to have an easier time with the rest. And yes. Hello, Vivi. How are you doing today? It's very easy to get the order of operations wrong with words. And then they just come out all jumbled and silly. Alright, I think that's a little bit too high. Well then. That seems like a difficult thing to forget. Oh yes. Sounds like you were into what you were doing. Well, I suppose as long as you're having a good time, it might be worth it. Just try not to die too hard today. I wish you luck, friend. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. That's the right amount. I think? Or is it too much? Maybe a little bit too much. It's pretty close. It's okay. It's like if you look at a bunch of the the science behind time as we know it right now, it seems likely that time is fake, and that we don't understand it very well anyway. Dude. Relativity, if you ever look into, like, how space works and how things work when things get really, really big. It's wild. Because, like, even just the difference in gravity... Yes. Even just the difference in gravity between, where we plebs are standing on the Earth and where our satellites are orbiting in space, it's enough that we actually do have to, like, have a time offset on the satellites, so this way it'll match up with our clocks on Earth. Just because time flows differently up there. It's pretty terrifying. It's like, I think the difference isn't that big. I think that if they were left running for an entire day, it would be... Oh man, was it a 7-second difference or a 7-minute difference? It was one of those two. But there is the difference, and if we want our clocks to be accurate, we gotta take that into account. The things humanity was never meant to know. Okay. So I felt like I needed to pull a bunch of stuff back over to the left there in order to make all this line up correctly. That might have been too much. Alas. It seemed like a good idea at the time. But I do think I have the top of this highlight in the right place. So now I'll just clean up some stuff through here and hope I can get all this lining up correctly. How's it looking? Still squirming around a bit. I never quite know how to line up this area. It just always takes a bunch of flailing for me to get it into place here. I don't know, maybe I should ask the mesh for its ideas. Okay, nope, not really. Mesh isn't sure. Sometimes it's really obvious, but in here things are... The angle of her head is just moving too much for me to really be able to make sense of what I would need to fix there. So I'll just go back to flailing. When in doubt, just try again. It's fine, it'll work out eventually. So I got to the boss in the current Path to Nowhere event. I haven't fought it yet. I looked at the date that it ends, and now that I'm, like, at the very end, I'm probably just gonna focus on finishing my illustration for the anniversary contest before I go and finish it, but it was a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be. I guess it was just a little mini event to hold everyone over until the next real event drops. I'm actually fine with that. I have a lot of stuff to be doing right now, and I want to finish that illustration, so... The timing worked out. And now I don't have to stress about it in the morning, so that's nice. Yes, the Error X thing. I have gotten to the end. Just need to do the boss. Some of the stages were actually pretty hard, but And I managed to find a way through them. I was talking about the one yesterday that wanted you to do a stage with a pretty big rush of enemies without Empower. And I thought that was just rude. But fortunately, I was able to cheese that with LL. And made her my Empower instead. So that made things much more convenient. What was that? Was the 5th level of the 2nd layer. It was pretty hard until I figured out that I could just do that. And then it became a lot easier. Suddenly I had energy all the time again. It was wonderful. If anything, because of that one tile that gives sinners skill points, it was actually easier than having Empower because I didn't have to worry about breaking course. I just always had the Empower. I see. I don't know everybody's height off the top of my head, so I guess I'll have to look that up, but I haven't looked into it much yet. I will probably look more into it after I finish my illustration. I'm already worried about whether or not I have time. Because it's like, man, I've got a week. And I'm scared. Oh no. Yeah. I've, part of the reason I'm not really worrying about it is because, admittedly, I don't like the bosses in this game very much. Sometimes the stages can let you do interesting things to break it, or they're easy enough that I can just make a few, put a few sinners that are good AFK and just kind of leave it. I'm actually leveling up Jane for that reason, so this way I have another good AFK sinner. But, the bosses are just, I don't know. I've never really felt like I do anything especially interesting with them. I just tend to plop down my bleed team and, hit my buttons. And it generally works out. There are advantages to doing so. It's like, I feel like for most of the content, it's fine to just use favorites, but there are occasional ones where having a few teams is nice. I tried Weak Spot Team the other day, and I was like, okay, this is good too. I say the other day, but it was actually for the last Tide of Ashes that I tried out Weak Spot Team for the first time. And once I figured out the mechanics for that boss, it was like, okay, yeah, this is actually pretty good. But in general, I tend to just throw Bleed Team at it and things work out. Hmm. I actually forgot that she was supposed to be part of Weak Spot. I need to build her still. I should probably do that before I do a bunch of others, before I just start grabbing random ones. Because it's like I have most built. I think I have like 2/3 of all of the centers built now. I haven't actually read very many guides. I just occasionally lurk in Reddit and see the discussions there. And sometimes I will see mentions of things in like the Discord server. But that's about the extent of where I get my information. I don't look very hard for it. I play this game more like a visual novel than a tower defense game. I'm very much in it for the story, so... And at some point, it's like, when you've been playing long enough, your teams just start getting strong enough that you can throw just about anything at a problem and it'll work. Also, I have Darren, so... Yeah, that is true. I do have one site that I keep open just to see what crime bans I should put on people. Because while I'm going through my just get everyone to P3, I'm also giving them a crime ban set just because why not? Just get them to the point where if I want to just grab them and bring them to a random stage, I can. Normally I'd be more surprised, but I think that's just part of the aesthetic of this game. It's okay, I'm pretty sure just about everyone is taller than me. I am teeny tiny. I have met very, very few people that are shorter. To clarify, that are both shorter than me and adults. I don't know any center heights off the top of my head, so I don't know how many I'm taller than, but I get the feeling it's not very many. I see. Yep, not information that I tend to look up too strongly. But it is kind of funny to see. I always like when people do some of those height comparison charts, though. Just to really see the difference. I didn't realize that people did height speculation. That's a new angle of character design, or I guess character speculation that I had not thought that people would do. Fascinating. Oh, that is interesting. It's just not something that I ever really thought about. Yeah. Whereas, I mean, like I said, I'm like in, pretty much bottom tier of height from people that don't have, you know, like some other genetic condition like dwarfism. So, I just assume everybody's taller than me. These are things I have to think about. Yes, the children don't count. I have fortunately met children that are shorter than me. Man, as always, the Strand just never cooperates with me. I can just never get anything to line up properly. Oh, man. I really can't wait until I actually just finish the hair forever. And then I'll be free. It is. It has a will of its own. And I think it just does things just to spite me. It's very rude. It's just looking at me like, not even the mesh can save you now. But yeah, I can tell that I meshed this somewhat crookedly. So it's sometimes a little bit hard for me to tell where I should be putting everything. I must have done this mesh at like the end of the day. While I was doing this. Because as you might imagine, meshing like 300 layers in, all at once is, it gets a bit brain-numbing at the... And at the time, I didn't have any viewers, so I didn't have anyone to say hello to help keep me sane. So sometimes things got a little bit wonky. Oh man, how long did it take me to mesh this entire thing? I think it was like 11 days. Just to get it all done. Just 11 days of clicking to make a new vertex, and then connecting them with triangles. Oh man. Those are the days. Okay. I just do not like the way that this is moving. And it's like that a lot, and I do not always understand why. Let's see here. I think you got the wrong character here. We have a few characters that do stuff with malice, but Shalom is not one of them. Yes. The one specific strand of hair. I swear it just wakes up in the morning and just like, yes, how am I gonna troll the rigger today? So I guess I'll just try to take it slow and look very, very carefully. See if I can work it all out. Maybe we can come to an understanding. I believe in you, little Strand. It's like, things don't have to be this way. We can get along, I promise. We want the same thing. Apparently. Alright, so far so good. Just paying extra attention to the mesh today. Seeing if I can at least try to get something out of it. Some progress has been made, so I guess I just gotta keep going. One step at a time here. I just wish we could get along, you know? I'm sure we could be best friends if we really wanted to, but alas. It's just clearly not meant to be. So for the time being, I'm just staring at the mesh. I'm just not really looking at the art at all. Trying to remove all distractions. Only triangles are in my mind right now. I'll just be seeing the world in triangles for a little bit. While I try to keep the triangles roughly the same size as they were. We're still definitely getting some wiggling, but I think it's a little bit better. We shall see. I know. It's so wiggly. So very wiggly. It's okay. Overall, I think it's a good way to be. People are not meant to be contained. I suppose vertices are the same way. Just go out and do your thing. Okay, we'll start there. So, let's see if that's a little bit less squirmy here. Okay, yeah, that's better. Still not right, but it's better. Better than it was. Okay, now I should just be able to go through and clean things up a little bit. Consult the mesh if I need to figure out where the vertices are placed horizontally. But otherwise, let's see here. See what I can work out just by looking at it. It's like, man, I was so happy when I finished doing this one yesterday. And was finally able to move on to other hair. But when I looked at it this morning, I was like, nope. Nope. Got a couple of things to fix. It's not quite right in a couple of places. So here I am, looking at it some more. For as much as I will never be free from hair, this one strand, I swear it takes like 4 times as long as any of the rest of them. I don't know what's with it, but... well, here we are. Just doing my best to get everything to line up. Oh. Okay, had a little bit of lag there. It's probably auto-saving. I think that would come with its own problems. I think some people would be very concerned to see a worm in her hair. Once I post the finished version. Okay, so far so good. Alright, time to stare very intently at this part now. And I'm actually going to consult the mesh here. Something's a little bit off, and I want to find that before I go too deep into things. Okay, I see the part that's a little bit off. Just still gonna take it very, very slowly. Make sure that I get everything into place before I move on. Just because sometimes I think rushing this strand can get me into trouble. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Why do I keep wanting to click on this one? I don't know why, but I do. It's very strange. Sometimes I think my hands just have a mind of their own. Sometimes it works out for art, and sometimes it just makes me click on the wrong layer, and then I get confused. It actually is true that, a lot of the time when I'm drawing stuff, I don't know, my hand just moves in a particular way that's not exactly right, and sometimes I have to go back and correct things because of that. But sometimes if I just let it flow and do its own thing, it can have a lot of really good ideas. Just the unconscious mind within my hand. I think this is especially true with things that need to be a little bit random, like hair. That's when your hand just has all kinds of good ideas. You should trust it. There I am, clicking on it again. Oh well, it's fine. Okay, and hopefully once I have this lined up well, I'll be able to get things over here a little bit better too. I might have to rework over here a bit too, who knows. I guess it's not that bad. Okay. I won't worry about it too much. I think the left is probably looking good enough. In this case, I will not go looking for problems. I will just fix the problems that I see and call that good. Yeah, maybe don't let your hand do that. That's a bad idea. Okay, there we go. I think that's looking okay. So let's line things up here now. Just fixing the strand on all the head angles now. See, right now I'm just hoping that this first corner is going to be the hardest one. And once I figure out what's going on here, that the other ones will be a little bit easier. But, if I'm being honest, I think I should probably know better than to expect that. At the very least, I'm hoping this one will be a little bit easier, since I know that I probably have things lined up a little bit better in the top than I did before. Alright, everything's gotta move up just a little bit here. So, this will be moment of truth. Where I see if I have done the top right and everything, because I mean if I did, maybe everything will just line up perfectly with the left turn and everything will be fine. And I won't have to make any further adjustments. That is the current hope. Might even consult the mesh a little bit. I actually think that'll be easier than just trying to do a bunch of intense staring at the art. It's okay. The slow head turn suits her. Okay, so some of this is kind of expected, like the fact that the vertices up on the side are a little bit more stretched out. That's kind of necessary to make it a little bit thicker in this area. So I think that's just what I would expect from the kind of deformation that I'm trying to do here. Oh yeah, and I should also check the top, huh? Okay, no, things are fine up there. It's just down here. So I'm just gonna try to keep the spacing between these good, I guess. Relatively the same as they are on the top, and I see that this one kind of zigzags weirdly. So I will trust the zigzag, and we'll make it zigzag kind of weirdly. Man, no wonder I don't get along with the strand. I try to keep the vertices nice and orderly, but it just turns out that I did not mesh it that way, and I keep trying to do that, and it doesn't work out for me. The strand is just built differently, it's fine. Just gotta figure out how it works. Yes, the worm in disguise. Alright, I do feel like it's coming along, though, and all is, all should be well soon, I hope. And then maybe I can just actually go finish the left side a bit and start turning various other bits of hair back on. Part of me always wishes I was a little bit faster at doing this. But, there's a lot to look at, and I am still relatively new to rigging, so I guess it's not too surprising that I'm still a little bit slow. I just perhaps get a little bit impatient sometimes. I'm not gonna dig into the strand too much. We'll see if I have to go all the way to the edge or not. And it's like, look, I just look at all this and I'm still just like, man, I look forward to the day that I finally get to do my hair physics. That day will come, and I will be so ready. Okay, I actually think that's looking pretty good. How about from here? Still got a shenanigan down here. Okay. The fact that it's not there is concerning. Okay, I should fix that. And indeed, I should have been a little bit concerned, because I didn't have the bottom of this loop in the right place. I had it a little bit too high up. Yeah, that's affecting a couple of other things a little further down, so I'll go ahead and fix those too. Oh man, but now it looks super fat. Definitely not how it's supposed to look, right? Yeah, I thought so. Little strand of hair put on a bunch of weight for no reason. There we go. Okay. Is it good now? Yeah, I think so. Alright. Now I'll just line up what I did over here again. And all will be well. Just pull this down a little. Pull that down a little. There we go. Yeah, that is a lot better. And the autosave is here to help me out once more. As it does. Okay, just want to fix up the bottom of the strand a little bit here. It was, I don't know, moving a little bit strangely when I took a look at it, so let me just even out these vertices a little bit here. There we go. And now hopefully once I go corner to corner, or I guess center to corner, it'll be fine. Yeah, I think so. Hooray! Okay, there is... Let me actually zoom out to like 100 and make sure that that little bit that I'm seeing is actually real. It is not. Okay, cool. That means I don't have to worry about it. And I can come back and look over here. So let's see, last time I was getting this little bit right. Did I actually finish getting that right? Oh cool, I did. Nice. Okay. So then, I remember that I was looking at this top little floofy part right there. You know, the little thing that just sticks way out here. And I thought that it might have been moving a little bit too much here. Or I might have been over-exaggerating the way that I'm having it kind of tilt back. So I wanted to bring that back out just a little here. I'm going to experiment a little bit before I start trying to get it into the perfect location. That better? Does it compare to here? Yeah, I think that should be pretty good. I'll start there, and if I change my mind again, then I change my mind again and I'll fix it up. If again, it's fine. It's not a big deal. That's kind of the nice thing about digital art, is that I can change my mind as many times as I want. I feel like in traditional material cost aside, it's like you're just gonna start saturating your poor canvas with paint and it's just not gonna be able to absorb it all. Not that I would know. I don't really know anything about the specifics of painting traditionally. But, all I know is that in digital, it's very clean to change your mind. Very easy. It just goes away like magic, and it's wonderful. Okay, and I think once I get that looking the way I want it to in both the upper left and the top, then I can start adding in the over-the-shoulder hair again, because I don't really want to work on this part over here without that, because I think a lot of that is just going to be covered up. Alright, I think that's looking pretty good. So let's line it up with over here. Just poof it out about the same amount. Okay. And then fix it up a bit. I might need to push some of this down a little bit further. I think I have the top up just a little bit too high. Just go ahead and do it individually here. Don't think I need the brush for it. Alright, and then I'll just get all these shapes right. Kind of push them into the right place here. There we go. Still needs to be cleaned up a bit, but I want to make sure that everything is lining up correctly. And it's a good thing I checked, because I did pull that a little bit too far down, it looks like. Although, no, I kind of dig it, so, let's do it over here, too. Just pull all this down a little bit more. Make it look like it's, hiding behind her head. A little bit more than it was before. Let me make sure the diagonal approves before I move that around, but yeah, I think that's great. Okay, cool. See, another case of sometimes my hand has good ideas. Sometimes I think my hand knows more than it lets on. Make things just slightly more lumpy there, because that's just how her hair looks. Okay, then some of this is just, going back and fixing some things for 3D effect purposes. Like this, I felt like got a little bit, I'm not sure if compressed is the right word, but I didn't feel like this part here was round enough. Okay. And there will be lots of small things like that as I go back and forth and find the areas that I don't quite like yet. Alright, now I'm gonna clean this one up a little bit. As much as I've been poking at the upper left, it's only fair that I go and poke at the up now. Because there are lots of little places there that need to be straightened out and we just need to make them look a little bit nicer here. There we go. Let's get everything nice and smooth. Get this curve nice and smooth. As curves like to be. Alright, I see some weird stretching going on, so I'm gonna go consult the mesh and figure out what's causing that. Is it mostly just the angle of that one triangle right there? I find that hard to believe. Okay, it wasn't. There we go. There's just a couple little guys over here that needed to come a little further up. But they were hiding from me. Taking advantage of the fact that I'm approaching the end of the current rigging session, and therefore I'm a little bit more tired than I would be at the start. Very rude of them, but it's okay. I found them out in the end. How big is this file? Let me see. I do not know off the top of my head, but it's probably pretty big. Let's see. Okay. Just need a second to navigate my folders here. So let's see, the INX file is 17 megabytes. Not as big as I thought it might be. So the INX file is 17 megabytes. The Krita file with all, you know, where I cut everything out is 30. It's actually not quite as bad as I thought it might be, so... I know that the person making this program cares very much about optimization, so... But yes, there are many things going on here, so... That's why I figured that it'd be at least kinda big. The main reason I was surprised is because, let me see, the illustration that I'm working on right now is already up to 179, but 179 megabytes, that is. Just because, I made the dimensions of the canvas really big, so it's a lot bigger than the dimensions of the canvas that I used for this. I save everything on external hard drives, so I don't tend to care too much about storage space. Yep, computers is like the one thing that I actually spend my money on. But I use them for many things, and I spend much time on them, so I consider it a worthy investment. The good financial advice that I've always heard is, when it comes to spending money, spend a bunch getting a good mattress so you can sleep well. Spend a bunch on whatever your means of transportation is, whether that'll be like a good bike, a good car, good shoes, whatever it is. And then spend the rest on whatever it is that you need for your hobbies. It's like, make sure you can sleep, make sure you can get to where you need to go, and then make sure you can have fun. And your life will be grand. Alright, and I've almost got all of this lined up. So doing that will probably be the last thing that I do for today. And maybe tomorrow I can finally get started on the hair that goes over her shoulder. Fortunately, that's not hair that moves very much, so I'm hopeful that it'll cooperate with me and maybe I can just get it done. Alright, let me get her chin in frame so this way I can see if everything's moving relative to everything else nicely. Okay, I think this highlight is moving a little bit too much. And it's kind of throwing some things off. I said that messing with that other strand is probably going to be the last thing that I did today, but I changed my mind. I want to get this part done too. It's okay, I think it'll be fairly quick, but we'll see if it ends up being more of a rabbit hole than I think it is. Because sometimes it does end up that way. Where I'm just like, oh, there's only just like this little tiny thing that is wrong. And if I fix it, then I'll be done with this whole area, and that'd be great. Let's do it. And then I forget it's like the strand from hell or just something else that doesn't always go the way I expect. And suddenly it's 30 minutes later. And I'm hungry. Okay, but no, it looks like today was okay. This doesn't seem too bad. Just gonna touch things up right here. Now that I've touched up some of that other area, it's just needed a little bit to look nice. This is why I tend to get down rabbit holes. Just like, oh, just one more little thing. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, I promise. And then, right, like here, it's like a little indent in that shadow there. It's kind of weird, because I mean, I think it looks a little bit funny, but that's just what it looks like, so. Okay. I'm gonna zoom out just to make sure I'm not getting fixated on silly things. Alright, might touch that up a little bit more tomorrow, but I think this is fine for now. So I think I will end it here. So thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on the social media platform of your choice. I will take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.